His throat's all right. Yeah.
Gotta give it up. There we go.
All right, we're in this. Hi, I'm Sean Collins.
I'm Stephen Barry.
This is We Feed Them, a podcast about the people and stories that shape the food industry. We have our first ever guest today. This is somebody who has been a mentor to me. I'm not going to try to make you blush too much, but he's been a big part of my career for a long time. This is Jamie Amador. What was your title, you said? Don Julio?
Don Jaime.
The king.
Just executive chef side,
Yeah, at a pretty well-respected restaurant in our area. I think, in general, you just say the focus of that restaurant is steaks, mainly.
Originally, it was just kind of all kinds of cuisine, and then we kind of pigeonholed ourselves into being a steakhouse. I mean, literally on our sign, steaks and cocktails. So, tons of steaks. We tried to do a lot of you call gamey type meats and stuff. Wild boar. We tried to do some elk, bison, that kind of thing. Some things are hit or miss. Some things stuck and everything. But now we got kind of supplemented those things with seafood, so we got all kinds of fish and seafood options.
A big focus on like the center of the plate protein, I would say.
Yes.
But this is our Christmas episode. That's why we look like freaking dorks. Jamie doesn't normally wear pajamas out, I don't think. And,
When they go to the convenience
Steve
store.
actually looks pretty nice. Yeah. This is a pretty good looking.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So boom, here we go. Christmas, the Christmas episode. Thank you for tuning in.
I'm actually really excited about this opportunity just to get to chat with you and stuff, because I mean, we've met a few times, we've hung out. I mean, he just reminded me that we went to Bleachers, which is a notorious bar around here. It was probably over a decade ago that this happened. But regardless, I'm obviously very familiar with you because you worked with Sean for a long time, and just excited to get to know you a little bit better. So I guess I'll just kind of shoot some questions at you. Feel free to answer as you are comfortable.
Sure.
But I guess we'll just start at the beginning. So are you from the area originally, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Lived in South Bend for 10 years till like 6th grade, and then we moved to Mishawaka, a couple of blocks from here, from this spot, and grew up in Mishawaka parents' house, which we eventually bought, so I'm still in the same house. But my dad passed away 7 or 8 years ago, and my wife and I bought it just to kind of had a lot invested in it. So we're still there now, but
Is south of the river, or is it like the river park
just
area?
south of the tracks.
Oh, okay.
Here,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of lived around here much of my life. Me and Sean are both originally from Michigan, but my mom moved down here when I was 13, so I kind of bounced back and forth. And it was just around the River Park area mostly. I went to John Adams High School a little bit, but
I lived on 30th Street in River Park for a while. There on the corner, Mishawaka Avenue, 30th. 1999, we packed up, my ex-wife and I packed up all of our stuff, for 2 kids at the time and all of our pets, and we moved to Tucson.
Oh.
Dude, I was going to say, I thought you weren't from here, but that's right. It was just that you left for a minute.
For about almost 2 years. And last day of work, I worked at this little Italian American place in Mishawaka, and my last day work, our moving truck was loaded, ready to go. It was a Wednesday. All I had to do was get through the lunch shift and just running some things on the meat slicer, and then nailed my finger real good where it was like a flap. And anyone who knows me, like a lot of blood and stuff, I go out, lights out real fast, faint. So this time I did not faint, but I managed to get it all secured and stuff. I bandaged up real good, said goodbye to everybody, went home, got in the 24-foot U-Haul truck with our car attached to the back of that, hit the road 1,800 miles, and I kept driving the truck and hitting my finger on like the shifter. Like It was a stick on the floor, but I kept hitting it, and but I had the lives of my whole family in my hands, literally.
I think it was
I gotta not get
like it was like a flap.
Yeah, you can see. You can't see with this light, but there's a scar right there where like the skin was like bloop.
I feel I got a fresh one right here. That's a butter burn from flipping an egg. I was whipping up some egg sandwiches at the casa, and I flipped it. That's Espanol, casa. And I flipped it. It means house. And it landed, and it was one of those where, dude, we were just talking about getting mad burns.
Oh, yeah.
I've got this bad tendency of flipping a pan, something landing on my arm or finger, and my hands are full. And I'm just like,
Just take it.
and I knew it,
Like,
man.
oh, get it. Yeah, just let it go.
It sucks. It really doesn't hurt right now, but when I'm washing dishes, it seems to tighten up, and that's when it's the worst.
I was about to say, it sucks when you have a bad cut like you were describing, and you just kind of bump into something really, it typically wouldn't even be anything, with just the lightest brush. You're like, you know?
Yeah.
What'd you do? What were you doing for working out in Tucson?
I had this job lined up. There's a place called Romano's Macaroni Grill. It's kind of equivalent of Papavino's or Carrabba's.
Oh, okay.
It was the hottest place in downtown Tucson, and wood-fired everything. So literally they had stacks of...
How old are you? Sorry, I'm just curious.
I just turned 30. So
All right.
it was Y2K. We saw a concert that year, Metallica in Detroit on Y2K, 1999. I won tickets on the radio. It was Metallica. Trying to get off on a tangent, but I might as well say
That's
it's
my
That's all
bad, 'cause
good.
I threw you off.
Metallica, Kid Rock, Seven Dust, and Ted Nugent. So
I wonder, was that around the time when Kid Rock came out with that song that was like this? The Beat was a Metallica song. You
maybe,
remember that?
yeah, maybe shortly after.
Oh, okay.
But Ted Nugent and Kid Rock are allegedly from Detroit, or maybe they are. I'm not sure. But
I think I've heard Kid Rock grew up in the suburbs outside of Detroit. He was very like pampered and privileged, but he's always kind of
like
claimed Detroit, you know?
Yeah, and now he claims that he's a
Eminem.
fucking rebel from south of the Mason-Dixie, basically.
Right. Well, yeah. Now he's somehow become what is that? Confederate.
Anyways,
Yeah. Moving onward.
anyway, midnight.
I think we're all on the same.
It was the old Pontiac Silverdome Stadium. It's
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Dang, I forgot.
midnight came out. All the bands came out. There was a limo drove up on the stage. Kid Rock's limo had a bunch of Hooters girls come out.
Oh.
And they had Joe C, his little.
Yeah.
They were all doing their thing, and they all did a bunch of Kiss songs. And Kiss is
Oh,
from
shit.
Detroit too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's really good. Cool. Really good time.
That sounds like it would
And
be a
then
good show.
We moved to Tucson like a few months later.
So
Did anything happen? Sorry, but I'm curious because I forgot about this, and we've talked a lot, but did anything happen in Tucson that was notable in your culinary career?
Yeah. Well, the macaroni grill thing was like insanely busy for what I was used to. So coming home one day, I passed the Hilton Tucson East. It's a big hotel, 7-story hotel. Is in between where our apartment and the macaroni grill on Broadway. And just on a whim, I stopped in there, went into the employee entrance where I saw all the other cooks and chefs going in there, and I was like hoping to talk to somebody, and I found the guy. His name's Bob. He's the executive chef of the hotel. Kind of actually literally bumped into him, and I was like, hey, he's like, I had the macaroni grill chef whites on. He's like, what are you doing here? I was like, well, looking to see if you guys needed anything and needed anybody. He's like, yeah. So we hit it off really well, and he offered me a job. So I quit macaroni grill, started the hotel.
What was the macaroni grill? Was just too? You were just like, man, this is just too hectic.
Yeah, well, I started to say, I think that on their line, there's like 8 to 10 guys on this long ass line. And on the back burners was like stacks of skillets with fire just constantly under them. So you have to grab skillet with a hot pad or a towel. They were ready to go. And then you just boom, 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 serve it, plate it, throw it in the pit, grab the next one, and constantly for hours. It's like, man, I did not know it's going to be like this.
Yeah.
I think it was a little bit too much for me because I was used to like a certain type of busy, but not like that kind of busy, like a corporate level
Yeah.
of busy.
I remember my first time going from like mostly private, even if they're high volume private places, it was like a regional chain, but going to a regional chain restaurant and being like, whoa, this is significantly higher volume. And I adapted to it quickly, but I was like, this is going to burn me out. I mean, I'm not interested in this. You kind of took to it. You basically dug in.
Yeah. I
You've
mean,
done more corporate work, I would say, than
for sure.
outside of it. And I mean, you've got a good breadth of experience on both sides, really. But
Yeah.
yes, that stuff, it's shocking. Definitely the one time I worked this one corporate-ish regional gig I was like in the middle of training and we got really busy and the trainer was like, hey, I got to go help another station. And the tickets were like, I thought somebody was fucking with me. I was just like, there's no way. This is, like, what? They're on the floor. And I was like, man, I've got to.
That sounds like a restaurant nightmare.
Luckily, I had been experienced enough to know this scary twisting thing in my heart that was happening was like, I can manage it and I can get through this.
Right.
But I was just like, this is unreal. And so I'm just like, all right, one by one. This is all we can do, one by one, okay? And I'm not temping any of this meat for sure. I'm just, we're going medium across the board, and then I'm gonna start stacking it. And then as I sell, it's gonna be well done. Okay, those are the ones that got away from me, and the rares are the ones that
I just dropped.
I just dropped, or I mean, basically just it was wild. And I remember I got through it pretty good, and I was like, I went home that night and thought, okay, if that's how business is, I really just need to prepare myself mentally for that. And then I think from there it was pretty good. But
Medium whale or medium whale?
dude, did you see, did I send you that video?
I'm not sure.
I'll have to send it to you later. There was a guy who was just like, I don't remember the total.
Those 5 in the back are medium whale, and those ones are medium whale. He's like, are you saying medium well or medium rare? He goes, medium whale.
He's like, which one?
Oh my God.
Fuck it, doesn't matter. They're all going out. I don't care. Is it beef or chicken? Well, if it's chicken, I know it's not medium rare.
So great. So,
Yeah. So I guess as a youth, did you aspire to be a chef someday? Was that your ultimate dream that you've realized, or is it something that you kind of stumbled into that?
kind of a little bit of that, yeah. The story I tell everybody that asks how I ever really got started, if that's kind of where you're
Yeah,
getting
sure.
at.
Yeah.
I had a family of 7, so I had 4 siblings, 5 kids and my mom and dad, so 7 of us. And on Friday, my dad would get paid, and it was a grocery store. They'd go to the grocery store, get all the stuff for the week, come home, we'd unload it all. My mom would always make, it seemed to be a consistent thing that was some kind of perch or cod, and she would prepare it, cook it up, and everyone would just like go at it and stuff. And we can always count on that every Friday. I guess it's like a fish Friday. One weekend she was sick and no one was going to cook it. And everyone's like, who's going to do the fish? And I was like, I think I was 11. And I was like, well, I'll go and see, give it a try. Went in there, grabbed a bunch of stuff out of the cupboard, all the little red and white cans of seasonings that have been in cupboards for 20 years.
Yeah.
I think I remember the exact concoction. It was flour, salt, pepper, curry powder, poultry seasoning, a few other things. And then just put the fish in that, breaded it, put it in a pan, cooked it up. And everyone was like, oh my God, so good. And then lo and behold, that was my job every Friday. So that was the guy.
Damn, I did too good. Now
That's pretty cool. I've never heard that before.
that's what,
that's awesome.
My grandma used to let me go wild in the kitchen, and I feel like that's where it kind of started for me. It was just, it wasn't a necessity. It was more of just, she would be like, yeah, just have fun, whatever. And I would start putting shit together. It didn't work. And she was dating a guy that if I fucked it up, she would just like, give it to Bob, he'll eat it. He'd go, all right, cool, thank you. And I'd be like, man, that was, I remember I burnt scrambled eggs, but I also put a bunch of liquid smoke in there.
Oh, no.
So liquid smoky burnt eggs, and Bob ate them. He was like, thank you. And I go, man, looking back, I can't believe it.
So what was your first job in the food industry?
It was at an ice cream place a block from here. Literally, you can see it from this window, Bonnie Dune.
Oh, Bonnie Dune.
Yeah. I was 14.
The place is
I
for
think
rent right now, I think.
think you can work back in the day. It was 1984. You could work at 14 years old if you had permission from your parents or whatever. So I worked there, tried to be in the burger flipper and stuff. And I don't remember it working out so well that time. A few years later down the road, when I was in high school, a bunch of my friends all were working there. And they're like, hey, we should try work at Bonnie Dune's. I was like, I already worked there once. But it was fun now because I knew people. So yeah, I got in there again, and it was great. Like, it wasn't the burger guy. I was, making the fountain stuff, the ice cream options, or whatever you call them.
Steve had a job as God damn it, the steak and shake, the shake guy.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that the last podcast. Yeah, I walked out.
There's a thing called the car hop, which you basically took the food out, because if you know the layout, cars can go through the drive-through window, and then you circle around, and you under that covered part of the roof, you can wait for it. There's like 2 lanes, and I would take the stuff out there and be like, hey, did you have this and this? And like, yeah, one lane was you can put your tray on there and just sit there and eat.
Did you do it with roller skates on?
No. No. Could roller skate, but no. But it was more profitable because, the minimum wage back then, was like $4 something an hour, but with the tips and stuff, it worked out really nice.
What's this, like 1937 or something? 38.
That would have been 86 or 87. 16, 17. So yeah, two instances at Bonnie Dune.
My first restaurant job was called the Board of Trade. I found out recently, I think, I could be wrong, but I think that they closed, which is kind of wild to me because, man, if they closed, unless that building is totally not worth it, I feel like they're going to reopen. I mean, I don't really know. It was in Watervliet, Michigan, but it was a big place. It was on Paw Paw Lake. There was a lot of people who lived in that neighborhood. There's really not a lot of options in that area. I mean, it's a small populated town, but I just think that, dude, if I lived there and it was up for sale, and I guess if I had money, I feel like I would be interested in it, I mean, it was old, it was run, there was like a smoking section. I'm sure that there's parts of that restaurant that feel like, like maybe we can't renovate it, but it had its own parking lot, it just had a lot of things that should have worked well. And I don't really know what happened. I don't know if it fell apart or what, but it was a huge kitchen too. I mean, it was not like, wow, look at all this beautiful stuff we have. It was a beat up, huge kitchen with, like
space.
Yeah, it was just spacious. I remember we used to smoke. We used to take smoke breaks in the kitchen.
That's wild. Like literally in the kitchen?
Yeah, we would.
Under the hoods?
Well, no, but it used to be so you could smoke everywhere, which is just, it really wasn't that long ago, and in that kitchen, there was a spot that they were renovating. I don't know what it was, but they were renovating it into maybe like a linen storage area, but it was right off of like the saute station. I feel like I'm gonna punch you. I'm sorry. It's right off the fucking fuck you. But they had it for a while there. We would go over there to smoke cigarettes, and I maybe I'm mistaken. I don't think I am though. I feel like I specifically remember. I was underage, so I wasn't the one doing it because my boss would be mad. I used to smoke out back, but I remember seeing the guys over there, like, and the tickets would come in, handwritten tickets, ding, and then it'd be like, all right, give me a second.
Behind their back while they're reading to get to it.
No, they wouldn't take it on the line, but I've seen that before.
Where they did that.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And I smoke, but that just turns my stomach. Smoking in the kitchen.
Jamie has, I feel like, if anybody has a nicotine issue or a smoking, I mean, nicotine is like a big thing, but smoking or vaping, when like a nicotine issue where you have to step out to be a part of it. I worked for you for a long time, and I was a smoker, and I smoked really heavy. And it was probably almost a year before I realized that you were a smoker. and we were working side by side all the time, and when I found out you were a smoker, I was just like, well, I've never seen you. You're never out back. Like, you're not in the circles. You never asked me to bum a cigarette, none of that. And you just said, I don't remember what you said, but it was something like, well, we just have work to do, and I'm not trying to smoke,
Keep yourself busy, I can go 8 or 9 hours before I start like chewing my lip, biting my lip, like, it's time. But
but when you're at home, you're not like that.
No, that's different.
So that's what blew my mind. How in this setting, when the only relief sometimes is stepping out back, to me, the only relief is stepping out back and smoking a cigarette. But it helped me, and it challenged me to be like, okay, If Jamie has been smoking for years, then who am I to complain that I don't have a fucking smoke break after a lunch rush? So
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I probably shared it with you at the time, but I was like, all right, I'm not smoking today, or I'm only going to do one. And it'd go from 10 cigarettes on a double to no cigarettes on a double, or one. And
Yeah, I smoke and I limit myself personally to 1 cigarette a shift, like a 10-hour shift, and usually be like midday when things start to slow down, and I'll just do a big trash run, grab all the trash from the line, and I never step outside without grabbing trash. It's just I feel like that's a good precedent to set, you know.
Yeah. Don't go empty-handed. At least do something. Make.
Right. Yeah. So can you recall a moment in your career that things kind of clicked for you and you kind of realized that, oh, well, maybe I could make this into something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in the 90s, when I was basically learning my real chops, my cousins got me started in real restaurants and stuff. 'Cause I did a couple of stints at KFC too, so there's more restaurants.
you were at KFC.
Yeah, for a minute, yeah.
The one, I worked at the same one twice in almost the same circumstances. I went once and didn't know anybody and didn't kind of click well with the people there. And I had one woman, or a girl, I guess she was my age, but seemed like she was obsessed with me. Like she literally bit my arm, left teeth marks in my arm, and I was like, didn't know what to do.
That's
What,
like
at work?
Yeah, at KFC, it was like,
red flag.
You're
right
really
there.
looking like a drumstick.
borderline breaking skin. So I forget how I left that place, but
Were you, I guess it's a
Bruised
personal
and battered,
question, but were you seeing a girl at the time, and then like
No.
she was like, "What the fuck is that?" You know?
no. But I wanted to work in there a second time, and then things went better, I guess. Those people were gone, and manager was really cool.
Less assault.
This is not the story, though. This
Okay,
is just
yeah,
a an aversion, or I got sidetracked. But
Yeah.
I went to college for computer programming. I got associate's degree for programming and hardware, so I could build computers. But the whole time I was going there, I worked full-time in a restaurant. So it was tough, but it seemed like the restaurant stuff, coming up with things and cooking and stuff, and people were digging what I was doing, seemed to be more fruitful than what I was trying to do, like trying to code these languages that don't even exist anymore and stuff. I guess, well, even the hardware now, building computers and all those parts are totally different from what I remember, but
Is
like your personality
new.
couldn't be.
Then I was like, I was meant to do this and not that. I had the degree in this, but not a degree in cooking, so I never, it's a self-taught thing. So, but
do you still have an interest in computers and?
not like it did. The only thing I use a computer for now, which is like a laptop, is just work-related stuff. So it's all food stuff. Even so, I'm 110% just invested in the whole food thing. So
Right.
I think I was getting cookbooks for Christmas presents and this kind of thing. And back when Food Network, before it became on cable, it was satellite only. So I've been hearing about this Emerald Lagasse back in the day and couldn't see it because we didn't have a satellite dish. And then it came to like regular cable TV and stuff. So I used to watch a lot of the Food Network and stuff, but I haven't watched any of that stuff in 10, 15 years now. So
My grandma loved Emerald.
Emerald was the best. Yeah.
Was it bam?
Out
It
of
was
all-
a
Bam! Pow! Kick it up a notch.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, just like an Italian personality
Now his
chef.
kid, now his son is a I think he's a Michelin star chef.
No way.
I don't know his first name, but his last name's Lagasse. But
Can we talk about this plate?
oh yeah. True. Well, so these are prototypes, but deviled eggs.
Fucking prototypes.
Something I've been thinking about. I had this guy that worked with us up until a few months ago, and he was obsessed with hot food, hot spicy stuff. So I was teaching him how to make chili crisp, which if you're into the culinary stuff, chili crisp, super hot. It's on everything. People put it on everything, and there's a reason because it's awesome. But you can buy it basically at any store. But once you learn really how to make it, it's the cheapest and easiest thing to make. So you just take whatever chilies you like, cut them fairly thick, and then just put them in a low heat in a cast iron skillet.
Like
Just
fresh.
let them, fresh. And let them just cook till they're crispy. And then you let them cool. And we went from jalapeno chili crisp to habanero, and that wasn't getting it done. This guy was obsessed. Like, he was buying pounds of ghost peppers, and we were making chili crisp out of that. And he was putting them on literally everything. And
Putting them in his ears and shit, dude.
you could see the in his eyes. He was like all about this
He was
chili
horned up
crisp
about the
thing,
heat,
and
dude.
hot. I'm not sure if he had some kind of other. I found out he had a alcohol problem prior, so I don't know if maybe this was giving him the rush that he was
Yeah.
used to.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like that endorphin rush.
Yeah,
The first time I tried, the hottest thing I've ever eaten was probably a scorpion chili, and it was in the kitchen with you. Do you remember? You and
Sorry, I'm barehanding this, but
that's okay. I mean, it's okay
if
to
that's
me.
gonna freak you guys out.
No, it's fine.
The prototype.
So I thought
These aren't gonna like kill us.
These aren't the spicy ones. I tested some at home, and my wife tried one. I was surprised because I told her it was a chili crisp on it. So she's like, "Yeah, you know." So it was like, "Ah."
Can we
So,
eat?
yeah, go ahead.
There's
Okay, so
no allergy issues
the
here?
egg is the typical stuff. I use Kewpie mayonnaise, Japanese mayo, mustard, salt, pepper. I put the paprika in it,
It's good for the
and the
camera.
pink color is I put a little bit of beet puree in it because I was thinking, try to make it more colorful and more festive. And the chili crisp is not hot, but it's there. And it's a little bit of micro cilantro on top. So we were experimenting with the chili crisp, and he was the salad guy at where we work, and he was peeling eggs because we have a hard cooked egg on a salad. And I was like, I bet that chili crisp was good on one of those eggs. And he's like, let's do it. So we made a couple of mock-up ones and didn't do the whole stuff with the egg yolk, but just basically a little bit of mayonnaise and then chili. And we tried it. It's like, yeah, I'm doing this the next holiday and a couple months down the road.
It's a good topping because I always keep chili crisp. We've got like a shelf next to our stove at home, and I always keep a little jar of chili crisp there. I've never made it though.
What kind of chili did you have on there?
This I think is just a jalapeno and serrano because I was analyzing because I tasted some straight up. I was like, I was wanting to, you know,
You're trying to
I
surprise us.
wasn't going to
You-
surprise you. I was going to say this much. But I was like, I want to see, you know,
Should have said one of these is a ghost pepper and then spun the plate.
chili crisp roulette.
Yeah.
It's good though. The chilies there's some depth there.
I mean, it's, like I said,
What's the next step? How do you get it to like where do you want it?
I probably won't put the beet puree in it. It was really good on its own, but it's just like I had the stuff. So, and then a little slightly hotter chili on it. So when you get it, definitely warms you, but not making you run for a drink.
Right.
I don't feel a need to it, but
No.
my tolerance.
There's
is a lot
definitely a
higher.
little kick to it, but yeah, it's
My tolerance is
manageable.
higher, so I've been at habanero level, but lately I think Ghosts is my new.
You're eating ghost peppers?
Not like straight up, but with stuff, you know, other food. That way it kind of mingles in with the bite. It's not just pure Ghost. It's like,
Yeah.
but the heat level is there. But
Or that dude
I
that we
draw
used
the
to
line
work
at
with.
Ghost. That's
We'd give him hot sauce, and he'd just be like, "I just want to show you how big my dick is." I think I would like to try the chili crisp straight up because I feel like the chili
I
crisp
almost
is like.
brought them, but I didn't know.
I
Which
feel like the
one
chili
had.
crisp is on point
And then you just a little bit of salt in there, and that's it. You know.
because everybody tries to make spicy. I shouldn't say everybody, but I feel like some people try to make the spicy deviled egg, and it always just lands in buffalo chicken land, you
Yeah.
know. And
So I wanted to make a deviled egg.
that's good.
That really would like not melt your face off, but take a cue from what Steve said. The make one,
Yeah,
spin the
the
plate.
roulette, yeah.
Here's the game.
Yeah.
One of these is gonna knock your socks off. And who's it gonna be? And then
Or put weed in one of them. And then you wouldn't know for like another 45 minutes, and somebody's like, "I think it's me," and you're like, "No, it's definitely Rich. He's over there like doing backflip, whatever." I don't think you smoke weed and do backflips, but you know what I'm saying. Never know.
this
I've never
story
tried it.
about- A friend of mine had found I had stage 4 cancer, and lived in Michigan and got me this bar of chocolate, THC chocolate. Can you make me some moon pies? And I was like, sure. And I did little whoopie pies as the cookie, but with some of the stuff in there, and then made the ganache for the outside with a lot of that in there. And then the filling was just like mint, like Oreo mint, but, you know, homemade, because I don't really buy a bunch of stuff, pre-made stuff. I'm pretty much 99% from scratch kind of guy. So
Yeah. I feel like you've had when I've eaten a lot of your food over the years, and you have there's just something special about your palate to where you'll tell me to taste something. I noticed it more early on when I started working with you. You'd have me taste something and I'd be like, oh, what is that? Out of what jar is that? Because it tastes so good. I mean that in a good way. You know, I'd be like, it's so well-rounded and it feels like it had already gone through an R&D process. You know what I mean? Like you said, like you brought this out and you go, this is, what did you call it? These eggs? You said, no, this is a prototype. This is not what you expect the finished dish to be.
yeah, those are the first.
And so your head and your palate kind of works through like, all right, I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again. Here it is. This is what I was thinking in the beginning. And I don't know. I feel like, yeah, working with you, man, my fiance always tells me every time I cook something for a family, she'll say like, don't try to do anything weird. And I feel like you instilled that in me where I go, okay, deviled eggs are deviled eggs, but what if they had, I don't know.
Yeah.
Chocolate. What if they were mole deviled eggs, you know? And then, and it just pisses her off because I'll shoot and I'll miss, and it's the prototype that the kids eat, and they're like, can I have ramen noodles? And you're like, fuck, dude, I messed it up.
You know, it's really interesting because I worked next door to where you worked for a while, and one thing that I realized about that area, I guess this region in general, is that it seemed like people, for the most part, weren't super adventurous, you know? So it's kind of cool that you try to find ways to force them to be a little adventurous, you know? And like, oh, well, I know you like your steak and potatoes, but here's a little twist on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to.
I think that too, just as a consumer, I feel like I'm in this and I'm still unwilling to be adventurous sometimes.
I had to backpedal on a lot of the adventurous stuff. You can't make someone like what you're trying to give them. You can only hope.
Right.
So it's like, all right, this stuff, maybe this town or this area is not ready for something like this. People see it on TV and then they're like, oh man, I'd try that. And then when it's in front of them, they're like, you know what, I don't know. But
Right.
So yeah, definitely had to retract a little bit of it, but still give them something interesting that's no one else has or no one else is offering in the area.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to miss.
No.
I mean, that's what happened to me. I feel like I had, years of trying to build up some sort of culinary backbone, and then I started working for you, and it just changed a little bit. I remember you would just challenge me to things, just even basic stuff. Hey, make a mashed potato today that isn't just normal mashed potatoes, and make people go, oh, I don't know if I want to try that, or And so I would go, all right, and I missed plenty of times, I'd miss and I'd be like, hey, you try this and you try this, and somebody would go, hey, yeah, you fucked it up, and it would kind of be crushing, but at least it didn't go out to the tables.
Yeah.
But sometimes then you hit it, and like I said, my family kind of hates that I still have that in me, but they don't hate it. They don't hate it, but
On that movie Wayne's World, when they go into the guitar shop and they try to start playing Stairway to Heaven,
Yeah.
and they're like, wait, stop. And the sign says no stairway. Well, for me, it's no garlic parm mashed potatoes. That seems like the most easiest cop-out way to go. Do not make garlic parm mashed potatoes. I mean, it's acceptable like if it's a feature or like a certain dinner special or whatever.
yeah.
Don't make that the thing because there's so.
All right, give me
more.
3 different mashed potatoes then.
I've done spinach mashed potatoes, where you puree spinach, mix them in there. It has that green color. Not so much the spinach flavor, but it's more like the color, because I'm all about colors. A lot of my dinner features and plates concepts, I already have the color scheme figured out, and I just got to figure out how to make that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, one of the best ones is sweet potatoes mashed. I think you mash ripe banana in it.
Oh, man.
And then a little bit of orange juice and maybe some jalapeno. That's one of the best. Fat-free, but it's like chock full of flavor. It's like super Caribbean type thing.
Oh, yeah, I
Or
can see that.
If Floridian is even a key word.
Oh.
Floridian used to be the thing.
We should bleep that out so that you can go make money on Floridian.
No, it's already been done.
Oh, okay.
That's a passe thing, but what's the third one? I think of a good one.
Stumped. He sucks.
No, that's very out of the box thinking.
No, I was thinking you do like 100 of
I've
them.
done
so I know.
roasted red pepper, like, and say we had a jar of roasted red peppers, a can,
Right.
drain it, roughly puree it, food processor to rough chop it, little garlic, parsley, maybe some feta or something, go like a Mediterranean style. That's really good. Doesn't have that, impart that bright red color like you think, but there's flecks of it so you can see, so you actually can taste a little bit and not just a homogeneous, puree of potato that's pink or red.
Did somebody make it might have been you, but I don't remember. I feel like somebody made a crab mash in your kitchen.
Huh.
And I was like, that's not going to work.
There's
and then
no way.
I remember tasting it and being like, okay, there's something
I
there.
don't remember that. I've done micro
probably
mashed
me.
potatoes for a feature, like I call it micro mash because it's a small amount, but we fold in like langostinos or crawfish tails into it. You're doing your main is like a Cajun pork chop or a grilled steak with southern type flavors, so it's natural for the crawfish to be in there.
Yeah.
That kind of thing a lot. One of the weird ones, one of my guys cooked a bunch of red wine and a red wine reduction and put that in there, so it was funky, but not terrible, but
They're kind of purple.
very,
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a challenge at that kitchen was always, the rotating vegetables, of course. I remember for a while Mondays that we had to have a new pasta every Monday, which was kind of challenging. And then there was every day there was supposed to be a new mashed potato every day, which was insane.
We have a board that's kind of
So that's why I know,
we fill in the line potato of the day.
Oh.
So
obviously there would be hits that would go, hey, just do the old
Right.
whatever, whatever would, the roasted, where you'd kind of go, you're just being resourceful and you go in the walk-in and go, okay, I still have this reduction that feature that didn't hit
Throw that in
Friday,
there.
and let's see if we can make something out
throw
of
that
this.
in there. I'm gonna chuck this in there. Oh, this.
Yeah, or a sample that somebody would drop off and you just go, well, this was we'll just, throw it into this, whatever. Smoked Gouda mashes, I know that's pretty basic, but
so good.
smoky mashed potatoes is,
Oh, yeah.
that's a winner pretty much all the
As long as you
time.
don't go to the liquid smoke to enhance it, because that liquid smoke is
Well, my grandma's boyfriend would have eaten it.
a crutch.
Yeah.
It's a crutch. It's easy to make it, everything. But truffle oil is also a crutch.
Oh, man.
A little bit goes a long way, but some people
Truffle
just
salt.
pouring it in there like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
No.
I love
A
truffles.
cap full of the cap of the bottle that it's on. That's enough for anything.
Truffle's probably my favorite. Top 3 flavors: roasted garlic, truffle, and I don't know, something spicy. I don't know if I could just say that, but what's your top 3 flavors?
Of what?
Cuisine.
Just general?
Yeah, like if
Okay.
when you see that word, it's just like, oh shit, that's my jam.
Well, I mean,
I'll say peanut butter.
peanut butter,
Yeah, what I say? Roasted garlic, truffle, and peanut butter. Not together,
roasted
of course.
garlic for sure. Caramelized onion. I feel like
Oh.
you gotta. I mean, I feel like I could put caramelized onion on anything and make it delicious.
We made some burgers at home last night, and I had like proper caramelized onions, and the kids were skipping out, and I was like, dude, you have no idea. But now I got this little cup of caramelized onions. I threw it in my eggs this morning. It's like, oh, this is great.
Those are man candle scents, in my opinion. Like
Right.
the cooked onions and duck fat is a good smell. I would smell.
Duck.
Oh my
I'd have a
God,
candle
duck
of that
fat.
burning all day long.
Duck fat might be up there as far as the
Lamb.
flavors go. Lamb.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think take peanut butter out and give me lamb.
Unfortunately, I'm the only one in my household that digs lamb. So if I can't do it, I can only eat it somewhere else.
Yeah. Should have brought some deviled lamb eggs. That makes no sense, obviously.
The gears are turning in his
Trying
head
to think
now.
of a way to
How do
make
I-
that happen.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have a thing?
I heard about your thing.
How'd you hear about it?
It was on a podcast, actually.
Oh, wow. That's a great way to hear about your thing.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell people about your thing?
But we could talk about your thing all day.
Put your thing wherever you want it.
We're going to make your thing so big.
It's possible.
Right now, your thing is kind of small, but you buy some ad time on our podcast, and I promise you, your thing is going to be massive.
A great opportunity.
Everybody's going to be talking about your thing.
Reach out to us on our Facebook page and show us your thing.
I definitely think that you should. All right. So yeah, it's that time of the year again, the holiday season. That time of the year when it starts to get dark around 5:30 and
Yeah. So we're recording this at 4:59 right now.
Yeah. So who did the holiday cooking in your house when you were growing up?
That was my mother. Yeah.
Your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys kind of stick to the typical?
Yeah, it
Fair.
was pretty much straightforward.
Oh.
None of the twists and turns came into.
Did you start helping her at any point, or was it like?
Yeah, I always said that looking back, I spent more time in the kitchen with my mother than out in the garage with my dad, like learning how to fix cars and stuff like that, because I don't know how to do anything car related other than basic brakes and
Right.
that kind of thing.
Fill the gap. Your dad taught me how to do brakes.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
That's a true story. Yeah.
I remember that.
What's the generic Christmas meal? If it's like, is it ham? Is that the?
I would say
is that
ham
the
is-
center of it all?
I think ham is what people usually think of when they think of Christmas. But
I prefer ham over turkey at Thanksgiving personally, but
Some people say
turkey's-
prime rib works its way into some of these.
Well,
mean,
think
I'm
I've
not
been
balling
around
like that, but-
prime rib too much, so I'm not. It's not so special to me anymore. So
Yeah.
I know everyone else loves it. So
It just seems like one of those things that kind of works into people's holidays. I'm doing prime rib this year. It seems like that's the only time somebody makes prime rib at home if they do it.
right.
They're trying to do it for maybe a small family or
I
whatever.
did beef Wellington once in the last 5 years, and it came out decent.
At home?
Great, yeah. I think it was a Christmas thing.
So are you typically in charge of the cooking now, or is it kind of like a team effort?
At home?
Yeah, for the holidays, you know.
Oh, for the holidays?
Yeah.
No, well, our family, my side usually does their thing, and then my wife's side does their thing. They usually handle the mains on my wife's side, and I just bring sides. Typically, like the deviled eggs are going to be one of them, and Brussels sprout, gratin, I bring every year. For my side, usually it's a collaborative. My brother Josh, my brother, he's the other culinary one, so people are expecting weird stuff from me or him to bring to the family thing, but then the rest of them just do the standards.
Do you think before you guys show up that people are like, what the fuck are they going to make us eat this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got one cousin that just never likes any of it, and every time he has to try it, you know, but it's like, I don't know about
Turkey
this.
with mole? What is this? What?
Do you feel competitive with them on holidays?
No, because we both know our pluses, our strengths and weaknesses, and we know our styles, so we don't usually conflict or anything, but don't compete pretty much.
He's pretty sharp too.
Maybe early on.
I haven't worked for him, but we've had a lot of interactions and
Is he a chef by trade as well, or?
Yeah, I started him back in the 90s at the Italian American place where I learned my chops, and he found his calling there too and actually pursued culinary school, so he's actually certified ACF.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
I
awesome,
never
man.
did that. So
All right. Are there any standout years that you could think of where I don't know, maybe you cook something or your mom cooked something where you're just like, yeah, I'm always gonna remember that one.
no, I have a standout year of an epic fail.
Oh yeah, let's hear about that.
It was my turn to do the turkey, the main turkey gravy stuffing stuff. And I went heavy-handed with the white pepper for the gravy, and it was really peppery. And for years, hasn't happened recently, but for years afterwards, they were like, you're not doing the turkey and gravy. And I was like, it was just a little,
Yeah.
oops. But I know where my mistake, and I've fixed it since then. But that was
that's me, man. Every time I just do too much when I'm trying to cook at home. I'm just always trying to, I don't know if I'm trying to impress people or I think it's more of like, I want to entertain them. I want them to be like, oh wow, this is a little different than usual. And I just do one thing too much, which is
And your wife is just like, just make regular fucking
I
mashed
know
potatoes.
it's like this, dude. I'm making deviled eggs, and I already know that she's gonna. I hope she doesn't eat one because she's gonna be like, dude, I told you to make normal deviled eggs, and I didn't go crazy. All right, I used some of the ingredients I had here at the restaurant, so I used whole grain mustard, and then I like minced up a couple green onions, and I threw it in there, and the onions hit way too hard, and I already know it. And I put some roasted garlic in there, and I think it tastes pretty good, but it's intense. And her mom makes a traditional deviled egg, who I'm taking that duty from this year, I don't know, just for the hell of it, I guess. And she was like, just make it normal. And I said, maybe I should just get your mom's recipe. And actually, I didn't reach out. So I go, okay, I'm just gonna look up like Food Network recipe for deviled eggs, and I'm gonna keep it super vanilla. Don't do anything crazy, Sean. No, this needs something. This needs this. And I just kept it. I got out of control. And so I'm a little nervous about how that's gonna go tomorrow when we get to the house, and I'm not even gonna let her taste it. I'm just gonna tell her, well, maybe she won't even see this, but if she does, she's gonna know that I'm lying to her. But I'm gonna tell her that I got the recipe off Food Network, and it was supposed to be just the average, it wasn't supposed to be anything crazy. I don't know. It wasn't me.
You didn't put any peanut butter in it, right? So,
Nope. No truffles.
That's one of your favorite.
No lamb.
So do you and your brother constantly get food-related gifts, or is that something that's passed at this point?
Kind of. We used to go to the Pampered Chef
Oh,
things.
yeah.
I forget who it was at the time. With someone knew someone and invited us. So we both went to a couple of them and bought a bunch of cool gadgets.
What is this?
It's like, you know what Avon is, or Avon. They sell like cosmetics. With this, people sell. It's a booklet, and they sell. What's an example? I had a tool it's like a corkscrew peeler that you twist inside of a jalapeno, and it takes all the seeds out and leaves it intact, so you can like stuff it with whatever.
Oh, so somebody could be a Pampered Chef host.
Yeah, you could be a host, and then you can sell it and have it at your house, and people, they order the stuff when it comes in. And,
Do they typically have pretty good stuff that you've gotten from there? Or?
yeah, we always lock in on the unique things, but
Right.
pretty much a lot of us is cookie sheets, roasting pan, certain kind of Y peeler and this, but the ones that we knew weren't available anywhere, we always jumped on those things.
I did have a question about, do you have any recommendations on food-related books? Because I'm looking into maybe getting something for the holiday season for a couple people, and I think that's usually a good pull, as a food book or...
Immediately, I think of The Kitchen Confidential, Anthony Bourdain.
Oh, yeah.
Almost every culinary student, every chef, anyone interested in that or in the profession, even line cooks probably have that book and have read it. The guy was a legend in his time, and not with us anymore, but some of his words and his lessons and his stories that's in the book still hold true and tells you straight up, this is how it is in this industry and stuff. Kind of like what we're kind of talking about the industry here and now, but he's got like stories, and everyone's really into. That's a good one.
I feel like you told me about, maybe it was you. There was a book that you like find a flavor, and it's almost like a color wheel.
Oh, yeah, that's
Flavor Matrix.
Yep.
Oh, you guys both know it. I have not had. Maybe I've seen one of you guys show me, but
If you have a buttload of blueberries and you're like, what am I going to do with all these blueberries? So you look at blueberry in there, and it tells you what they go with better to like in a color degree. Like they go great with these things, they go great with those things. And that was all developed by IBM Watson computer.
Oh, yeah.
Developed all of those. Because it all comes down to these flavonoids, and this computer can analyze the flavonoids. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but knows these certain things, and then chemically they have these things in common. So the computer just said, well, this is in common with this. So, like not the thing, like adage where if it grows together, it goes together kind of thing, but this is on a chemical basis. So
I didn't know that. I didn't know that there was a a freaking computer
Yeah.
behind it.
It was a computer did
That's like way before artificial intelligence. Yeah, I know it is
Watson's
because
been around for a while now. I'm not sure how long, but
Yeah, I would say the Flavor Matrix is definitely a good book. It helped me a lot when I was really getting into cooking and just trying to come up with new stuff, you know. And it like, I think it's really good for beginners to have a deeper understanding of flavor.
oh,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
like their one thing is like, who would know that blueberries, going back to blueberries because that's the example, but and horseradish go great together and stuff. I would never have thought those two, but apparently chemically and taste-wise they do at some degree, but it doesn't really tell you ratios. It's just kind of
it's like have fun.
Leave the rest to you for interpretation. So
I always throw a spoonful of horseradish into my smoothies. That's no.
You go to Smoothie King, you're like, would you like to add any protein or energy? You're like, just horseradish, thank you. You pull up, you're like, wait, what?
Do you have horsey sauce? Yeah.
try your typical smoothie with the yogurt and the banana and your other fruit of choice, but also throw coconut milk and an avocado in there.
Oh yeah.
Flipping awesome.
Flipping awesome.
Sounds great.
Benefits of the avocado. Coconut milk just kind of changes it up a little bit, but it's not really dominant.
I think the only book that I've read in like besides just straight cookbooks was a book called, I think it was called Heat, and it was about this guy who went and worked for Mario Batali,
Oh yeah.
but he worked for him at as a dishwasher. Like he got into a restaurant as a dishwasher, and so he told the story from quite afar, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, yeah. I mean, for some reason I always had this image in my head because it was the most relatable for me. Mario Batali was an Iron Chef. You know, he was pretty well regarded. And there was this story that he told in that book, because I'm reading it and I'm kind of a grimy line cook, you know, making a lot of bad decisions at this point, but I know that food is my thing.
Right.
And he tells that he goes to a party, a gathering or whatever after dinner service one night, and Mario showed up and he was wearing shorts and Crocs and like a greasy shirt, and he was smoking a cigarette and had a handle of whiskey or something like that. And it was just a very raw visualization of just, hey, that's how I stand outside of the party, you know? This is what I'm like reading the book. Oh, wait. Oh, shit, that's me, right? I mean, I'm wearing shorts right now and it's snowing outside. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool. And there's also a moment in there where Mario held a staff meeting and he just was adamant about the importance of consistency, the consistency of technique, not so much the consistency of the dish, but just that you are consistent on just on techniques, like how you prepare it, not so much how it shows up.
Right.
But, you know, every time you sear sea bass, it should be, you know, like you should be consistent with it. You should know how to handle it and what you're doing. And there was a quote in there that said something like, if somebody comes in and has a great time and they come back for that same experience and you don't give it to them, then you're an asshole. No. And it's really cool because the guy is writing it from, like I said, a distance. You know, this is like somebody who wasn't even on Mario's radar. He was on his payroll, but not really on his radar. And so I thought that was cool. And also, I mean, who knows how much he twisted those to get a book.
I wonder if he had Mario's blessing or if that was, I mean, I think you might have to, you know, like just to even publish that. But I've recently gotten into this book. I believe it's the Cook's Illustrated Science of Good Cooking. It's like this big ass white book that I really like it because it doesn't just tell you like how to cook, but it tells you why things react the way that they do. It's not just like, well, you should put dairy and salt into your eggs when you cook them, but how it's reacting chemically and stuff, you know? So I think it really just kind of, it's given me more of like I feel like it's made me better subconsciously as a cook. You know, it's not something that I'm necessarily thinking of, but when I'm cooking on a line, I feel like I just have a bit of an edge just from having read some of that stuff, you know?
That'd be good because I feel like I can't even tell you how many hours, and I mean, it would probably end up being years of trial and error for me of where I don't know why it reacts this way, but every time I do this happens.
Right.
good or bad, and I just keep trialing and erring and try to figure out like how come when I do this happens, and like, and there's some things that people will argue about, like the one that comes to mind right away is whether you should oil your pasta after you cook it. Like people will argue. I mean, you could have somebody who would stand on a hill about absolutely you're supposed to oil them, and then somebody right next to them be like,
In your opinion, do you oil your pasta? Your pasta? Well, Midwestern came out.
Well, I cook a medium rare. That's a good one. Yeah, no, I don't. I typically don't, and especially at home when I'm working, if I'm working it through the process quick enough, and I know we're not going to have any issues. At a restaurant, maybe if I'm doing really big batches and I just don't really have, but I think that you shouldn't. I'd be curious, you have a big Italian American food background, but I think you shouldn't, because I feel like the oil pushes the flavors out, or it repels the sauce that you're trying to put on it. Huh. And I don't know if it's, I don't know. That's my theory, is that if there's no oil, the pasta can absorb the sauce that you're putting it into. And why would you want to, I mean, most of these sauces have a water base to them, I think. I'm a little nervous because I feel like he's about to tell me I'm a fucking idiot. What do you do?
Well, I mean, kind of the same. If I'm making a giant batch at work or whatever, I'll oil it just so it doesn't all stick together and clump up and be shitty.
That's just sort of foolproof it once it goes into,
right.
Out of the bag into whoever's cooking it. It's like, hey, that you got clumping pasta, please, but you don't have to worry about it if you oiled it.
Right. Yeah. And then usually procedurally, if you oil a big batch and then maybe portion it out and just have pasta water going, you drop it in there, then, I mean, the oil is kind of separating from the pasta at that point anyway. So
most of it comes off.
Right.
If you're trying to portion sticky spaghetti, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, you're ripping it apart and stuff.
Yeah.
And so what's the answer?
Broken bits. Depends on the type of the establishment, but a high volume place, you got to oil it for portioning. And then, like we talked about, if you put it in the water to reheat it, you put it in the colander, pull it out. A lot of the oil is left behind. A lot of some sauces are I don't want to say all oil based, but like good marinara, you sweat your veggies and garlic and all that stuff in a little bit of oil anyways. Alfredo is cream, and so it's not really oil, but I mean it's fat.
Yeah, you got a really high fat content there.
You got fat, and
so you don't think the oil matters on the pasta if you're going into something like that?
Yeah, if and then you're ultimately finishing the dish in a skillet and stuff. Eventually, it's going to stick and stuff. Maybe not a high-end, like a 3-star place where you're doing everything a la minute. They're building their sauce from spoons from their mise en place, and your pasta thing's going, and they're cooking the pasta fresh to order. Like that kind of place, you would not. But for most standard restaurants that like we're used to, light oil enough, like he said, just enough to get it to be able to manage it.
Yeah. When you make spaghetti at home, I just started, we always keep it separate, the sauce and the pasta separate, because everybody has different preference on how saucy they want it. And if you get the ratio wrong, you got a pot of dry spaghetti or super wet spaghetti. But I've been trying, if I can get that portion right, and I'm sitting there like, okay, I think that's the right amount of sauce for that pasta. And then I try to cook the pasta like 75% and then finish it in the pasta sauce.
Oh.
That seems like a good idea, but sometimes I'm just stoned and I'm just like making shit up. Yeah. I'm just like, all right, dude, they're gonna love this. Okay. Oh my gosh, what if I put peanut butter in here? This blueberries, peanut butter, spaghetti. Hey,
horseradish.
Man.
Kind of back to the oil thing. I mean, some people, like legit Italians, they do not put oil in your water when you're cooking your pasta and stuff.
I
never do either. So
I don't know what the purpose would be.
So kind of adding a second layer of oil, if you already oiled it once, there shouldn't be any debate.
If you oil your water,
it's
point. Just going to avoid each other the whole time. Like, is it really going to do anything?
Yeah, I never have.
I remember...
heavily salted, yes.
I had a moment, dude. there's a very old Italian restaurant in town, and the floor of that restaurant the floor of the kitchen of the restaurant still has hardwood floors, which is just pretty surprising.
Dang.
And the woman who I haven't not talked to her in years, but when I sold for Cisco, she was one of my customers, and she was very sweet. But there was a very historied Italian joint, and this woman in the latter half of life, she was in there just like orchestrating this Italian food, and she had all of her goons just running around like, "What do you need next?" She's like, "Parsley," and they're like, "What next?" And she's like, "Boil the water."
Oh, God.
And then she's like, "Hey, Sean," she was very sweet.
That's where I want to be at.
But I remember when she was salting water one time, I was like, "Damn, that's a lot of salt." And she was like, "Salty like the ocean."
Yes,
and she just
exactly.
walked off, and that was it. And we took her order, but I realized at that moment I had not been salting my
She's
pasta
not
water.
wrong.
Yeah, so ever since then, I'm just like, yeah, I mean, you got to salt the shit out of it. Salty like the ocean. I mean, if you don't know how much that is, taste an ocean and then taste the water, like get a little spoon and let it cool down. And if it's not fucking salty water, that's not salty enough water.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting because I've always put salt in my pasta water, but never to that extent.
Yeah,
So
lay it in there.
yeah.
It makes a difference. I had a guy here when he would salt the pasta afterwards, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on with this pasta, dude?" And then there was a kid working with him, and he was like, "Hey, just so you know, Brad, that's not his name." But he was like, Brad was like, he salted that pasta like 3 times. Like, I don't think he knew what he was doing. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, he salted the water. And then later he salted it again. And then he strained it and then tasted it and was like, I don't think there's enough salt, and salted it again. And I was like, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. And then,
The water should taste like the ocean, not the pasta.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think I've always thought that maybe we should put more seasonings in the pasta water. Like, why did we just stop at salt? Why don't we fucking throw some?
Yeah, for sure, you could do that.
But it feels like a waste. It just gets diluted too much.
Take like spaghetti, cooked it like 2 or 3 minutes under, and had another pot of going with red wine and like beef base or bouillon going, and then take the pasta out of that and put it in that and cook the rest of it. Like you kind of said something earlier, the last couple minutes, didn't you?
I said a
Saying
lot.
you cooked your 75%.
Oh, and then throw it in the pasta sauce.
that.
Yeah.
But cook the rest of the way in this red wine and beef flavoring, and then the spaghetti takes on that wine color and flavor, and then you get this lightly purple spaghetti that tastes great, and then you can do other things like
Then you wouldn't want to cook it with the sauce. You want to highlight the color of this pasta
Yeah.
now. So you'd set it on the plate, and then that's a cool idea.
trying to get that to
that'll be
catch
nice.
on. But the first time I tried that, it was a hit. The second time I tried it, not so much. I think I did it even a third time, and it was like,
You could work those types of things into the pasta dough also to get that purple color. You could,
heck yeah.
you could reduce down Cabernet or Merlot or something. And
We tried that.
we did with bread, and I ended up
the
with
bread,
crackers.
yeah.
You remember? Yeah.
The what?
We ended up with crackers because I didn't bread right.
You had purple crackers?
Yeah, but they were good. And we did at the time you had a dish called the Big Cheese, which was it was pretty high end, rotating. Like, hey, if you order it, we don't want to answer any questions. You'll just get what you get type dish. And when a Big Cheese would come in, it would be like, Chef, we got a Big Cheese, and he would go off and do his thing and put that dish together because we didn't. If he wasn't there, we just wouldn't do it basically because it was over the top. It was just. Do you remember what that cost?
I think it was like $35.
Which is that's an expensive appetizer. in
Yeah,
this
we
place,
got, it was a big slab of wood as the plate, and we had 3 high-end cheeses, they rotated, but I had index cards with the type of milk, if they're semi-soft, if they're ripe, firm kind of cheeses, and their region, was it Germany or Italian, and then it had 3 meats of different kinds. Usually it was some kind of a salami, usually it's some kind of a chorizo, and the other one was like a whatever, but and then we had the other things like some types of nuts and a couple of different preserves that went with it.
Yeah.
Tons of crackers.
And they'd be gorgeous too.
It's
They were
awesome, yeah.
I love that style of plating because it was, I wish we had a picture or an example, but it was just, it was composed, but it just had this feeling like you could walk through nature and find it also. You know what I mean? You'd just be like, oh, wow. And there would just be a stump with like beautiful,
Yeah.
like this, I mean, it has just an earthiness to it. And yeah, I loved it.
I got those wooden things. It's like acacia wood. They were made from wherever, but I bought them at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Hell yeah.
They had a great kitchen section where the
Rest
gadgets
in
kind of
peace,
going back to the
Sigal.
Pampered
yeah.
Chef thing. But
Yeah.
their kitchen stuff, they had all the cool gadgets there too.
Well, we had I tried to make this as Cabernet bread, I think, and I don't think there was much more to it other than it's been a long time. But either way, I fucked up the yeast. The shit didn't rise, and I cooked it anyways, and obviously it wasn't good. So we thin sliced it and we put it in, we thin sliced it and put it in the Alto Sham, where we just kept plates warm, and we just kind of let it sit there for a while, like
Just
a few
dehydrated?
days or something. Yeah, and then we ended up with what was essentially a cracker. It ended up being like a pretty nice cracker to put on the big cheese, you know?
Like a good biscotti where it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not to knock it. It was, the concept was great. And, with,
Yeah,
we'd
it
have-
fell short.
maybe if
But
we
then
would've
we
gave-
landed on something new. Like
We would have gave it a little bit more attention and maybe seriously
I
tried
gave
to
it plenty
develop
of
it.
attention.
It could have went.
And I tried to develop it.
You did?
No.
I thought it was just a one-off.
No, I just fucked up.
No.
Well, I think that's the mark of a good chef, though, is that like you can fuck up like that and then kind of
It's when
figure
the
out
guy
a way
fucks
to
up and then he's
save it.
like,
You know,
let me fix that for
and then
you.
Jamie saves you.
Hey, why don't you do this and that? Oh, that's what I was going to do, actually.
If you could give one piece of advice to an aspiring chef, then what would it be?
When you are learning your chops, like physically, well, literally your knife work and stuff, and you're learning how to develop, how to do recipes, execute them, do your prep, your mise en place, all that stuff, and you start to get a creative edge to yourself, and you do develop something that's really cool that everyone likes, make sure you keep a log of that, write that shit down, because it could come into play later. You may be sleeping on this hit, it's hard to make lightning strike in the restaurant. Like you could have all these creative ideas and you're like, well, I'm gonna do this and this and just like nobody's interested in stuff. And then, but that one lightning bolt, you're like, everyone's like, oh, holy shit, you never know. So just keep track of, keep meticulous track of your own work and stuff, I guess.
That's a good one.
Really,
Yeah. Keep a journal nearby. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, even when you don't think you're doing anything special, but you're still doing something off the hip, like just log it.
Because nothing sucks worse than when someone's like, hey, what was that thing you did? And you're like, I don't know, which one? Like the one with this and that,
I made that mistake a million
Head scratcher
times.
stuff and-
And you'd preach that to me a lot too. And I would make that mistake a lot, right? Because sometimes you would just go, yeah, you just got to do something real quick and you throw it together and you don't take, what's it going to take? Through that whole process, 1 extra minute, 60 seconds to just write down what you did.
Yeah.
And then you just go, I can't, we're going to be a hollandaise. So he's like, I need hollandaise really quick. And you just, I'm going to take this shortcut. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to microwave a pound of butter and throw 12 egg yolks in the processor and if you measure some of the spices and it comes out and you made hollandaise in 3 minutes or whatever and people compliment the shit out of it and you had no idea
Right.
that you just, like you said, it's hard to make lightning strike, but you just did. And you go, fuck, I don't know.
But now do it again.
I don't remember that I did fucking Tabasco or was it that homemade sauce? Yeah, you don't remember. And so that's it. It's just this little story that you can never recreate it.
Yeah. And if you are in the means or you've been charged with developing things for a restaurant, like, hey, can you come up with 3 pasta dishes or a different steak preparation or something for this fish, and it's a success, make sure, back to what I just said, that you really log that and make it consistent so that people could come back a couple weeks later and get that same thing that they remember. Because if they come back and they're like, yeah, we got this last time, but this is not, something's wrong, because, a handful of this and a pinch of that is different because your hands are different size than your hands and my hands and stuff. So I don't know if anyone still cooks like handfuls and this and that, but
Right.
consistency is a key to a place that's going to stay busy and have notoriety, I guess, if that's even the right word.
Yeah.
That's interesting because, yeah, when I was working next door over there in Elkhart, the chef there, great dude, great chef. But I remember when I first started there, I'd come from a chain and I was just used to all recipes, you know, and I would ask him, like, how do you make this? Or, you know, whatever the fuck that we needed. And or like, how much of whatever do you add? And he'd just be like, the right amount. Like, he'd never write any. I mean, he had some recipes, but for the most part at that point, he was just kind of freestyling. And, you know, he knew exactly what he had to add to it. And after working with him for 3 years, I'd gotten to that point too. But it kind of, I mean, well, the two of us were working every day that they were open, you know, 12-hour shifts and shit. So everything was consistent because we were the only ones who were really making these things, you know, but it kind of made me think maybe when I quit that job, you know, somebody else stepped in and then they had to do the same.
All over, new person.
Right. Yeah. And maybe they were making the same recipes, but they were making it a little bit different because it wasn't written down. It was just like, well, these are the 5 ingredients that we put in this, you know, and just balance it out. Right.
It's not, I mean, it seems like just saying balance it out seems like, oh, okay, I can do that. But there's a lot more to it than that. And
right.
You know, standardizing things. I left my current job for a short bit and went to work at another place. And one of my main focuses there was to standardize things because they were just, everyone had their own versions of different vinaigrettes and sauces and stuff. And I was like, which one is everyone using? And like, well, on these nights, she uses hers. And I was like, this is chaotic and stuff. So I tried to get it with each person and, you know, what are you doing in this? And what are you doing in this? And not necessarily merging them together, but trying to figure out the best parts of that and that. And then do a finished product for the chef there to see, is this what you had in mind? You know, is this good enough for your, you know, your standard or whatever? And if it was, then it's great. But if not, then, you know, back to it and stuff. So
if it wasn't, then this is what everybody is using from now on.
Successful place.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And, you know, I'm glad I worked with that chef and he kind of taught me like the traditional way of cooking and just balancing and flavors and all of that. But I agree with you. Typically in a restaurant, I think consistency is key, especially like you said earlier, a lot of my background is corporate, and in corporate restaurants, they really pound that into your head because you can't go into, I don't know, an Outback Steakhouse in Tulsa and then go into one over here and get two separate things. They want it to be uniform.
There's
across.
salt and pepper over here, and this place is doing the old Lowry's and onion garlic.
Get your Cheddar Bay biscuits at Red Lobster, and they're like, what the?
Yeah.
We do white cheddar here.
This is not right. Okay. This is not how we remember it. And people don't go back there, you know?
But whatever. Hey, if you work in those places, then destroy them.
Yeah, sure.
Submit their corporate recipes to the copycat.com so everyone else, no.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Send them to, was it Sean at We Feed Them? No.
We're just going to share them. Okay. And so, we just sit here and ruin everybody's fucking recipes.
If you do your people right, there will be a need for disgruntled employees submitting recipes to Copycat, and you're like, this is how they make their blah, blah, blah.
Is that an actual website, Copycat?
Yeah, with a K.
Oh, okay.
So you can find out how,
can't even spell right.
What's an example? How Panera makes their broccoli cheese soup or something. I don't know. I'm sure it
comes out of a bag.
I'm sure it comes from
I could be wrong.
Corporate thing and then sent to the things, but,
it's got to be in a bag at this point.
Hey, I did an interview for a job at a major grocery store chain around here called Meijer, which is it's basically, if you put it next to a Walmart, it has its stylistic difference, but it's the same thing. It's the same idea. It's everything is in there. And I had a job interview years ago at one of their factories where they would make their pasta salad and potato salad. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And it was really interesting to see. They would get 50-gallon drums of mayonnaise. And you think, like, I thought that I knew bulk. And then you walk in there and they're like, you might have to get the forklift to get the vinegar out. You're like, what the? And they go, here's the mixer. And they're like, hey, get the mixer ladder. And you go, the ladder. And you go like, holy crap, I could fall into this and die making pasta salad. And
Imagine if you fucked up a batch of that, you know?
yeah. But they were amazed because I said, I can read a recipe. And they're like, you what? I go, dude, can't everybody read a recipe?
Right.
It just says something and you just do it. It's not even, it's just, especially
Just
pasta
instructions,
salad.
yeah.
Like, yeah, you just combine these ingredients and they're like, hey, you have a cooking background? And they're like, we would just love to have it around here. We could see you going far. And I'm like, so they're hiring people who have manufacturing backgrounds, not cooking backgrounds. And I was like, wow, I feel like
Well, it seems like it's more
they're like
of a
rolling
fucking
out the red
factory
carpet.
than-
And I thought about it. I was like, man, maybe I should take this job. But I was considering like leaving Cisco at the time. And I decided to stick with it, which was a good choice. But
I think we've all seen like a 5-gallon pail of mayonnaise, but not like
Yeah.
a 55-gallon drum. of
drums,
that.
man, it was crazy. The walk-in was a large room, and it was full of barrels of ingredients. It was pretty cool.
Can't think of the name of the place, but there's some place in between or right on the border of Mishawaka and South Bend. I want to say it's over by IUSB that makes all the sauces for like Taco Bell, all little packets.
Oh, really?
There's a place that makes sauces for most of the restaurants, like Chick-fil-A's barbecue sauce, Chick-fil-A sauce. And so they have all these corporate recipes at that facility, and they make the sauces and then
I didn't know
packet
that.
them. Yeah, I can't think of the name of the place, or if it's even still around. But
Steve worked at Martin's Bakery
Yeah.
for a little
yeah.
while, and I
I didn't know that, but I know what you mean.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, they just like produce all the baked goods and then they redistribute them
Right.
through that was kind of a food manufacturing job.
Yeah, yeah. It felt
Or
like
it is a food manufacturing job, basically.
Yeah, you're just standing there like they would have a conveyor belt of fucking hot oil, and they would have all the donuts would come down and they would go into the conveyor belt, and they would have a guy whose job was literally just to stand there with sticks and to flip the donuts over, you know, and just to make sure that they were all coming through uniform.
40 hours a week.
Or yeah,
No way.
I had to work at a position where the fucking donuts would go, so they would do that, and then they would come up, and then they would go through this thing, and then they would come down, and you'd have to take the long johns, and like there was a machine that had cream in it, and you would just yeah.
Doesn't Krispy Kreme have that little conveyor belt
They do.
where
Yeah.
you can kind of see it's like a mini version of what you said?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And the store that's in town, yeah.
I don't particularly care for it.
That was an interesting job, man. Yeah, I was probably like 19 years old, and I was stoned all the time, and I worked with a bunch of 40-year-old women that just hated my guts.
Yeah.
Because they knew that all this fucking dipshit stoner is coming in and fucking doesn't give a shit about
Yeah,
anything.
they're like, he keeps using the cream machine on the wrong donuts. And you're like, I'm just doing my job, you know, and you think you're pumping Long Johns, but they're like, these were not supposed to be cream.
Yeah. I will say they were right to hate me, but it was fun for me for a couple months. There we go.
We have to.
I like it.
So thank you for tuning in. Jamie, thank you for joining us. Steve, thanks for setting up. You put a lot of time into
Yeah,
just
really.
this format.
It really wasn't much. It was maybe like 20 minutes earlier.
All right,
Just
fuck you,
kinda-
Steve. And advertisement opportunities are available, so reach out to us on our Facebook Messenger page, and that's it.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and all of that good shit.
Yeah, Happy
Yeah.
New Year and all that good stuff. Ho ho
Happy
ho.
Hana Kwanzaa?
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know.
Because that
Something
was a
like
thing a few years ago.
that. Yeah.
Maybe-
Happy Hanukkah, whatever the fuck. Yeah, I can't even say it. Yeah.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Hana Kwanzaa.
Hana Kwanzaa?
Yeah,
Is that a thing?
Hanukkah.
I think we're
Yeah.
missing one. But and if you're working on the holiday, sorry, bro. Thank you so much, because somebody out there won't appreciate it and somebody will appreciate it. But you know, like, we understand that shit takes. Sometimes you just need the money, and sometimes you feel like you are put in a corner, or maybe you're trying to distract yourself. And holidays are tough, and we understand that too. Holidays can be really tough.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and I'm working on all the major holidays this year. I think I have Christmas Day off, but yeah, the rest of them were open, and I'm sure I'll be there. So yeah, you're not alone. Yeah, we're out here.
we
Just
out
another
here.
day, really. I mean, other than everyone else is celebrating, but you're.
It's not just another day. Santa Claus is coming,
It's
dude.
a Monday.
Santa
Or it's a
Claus.
Thursday. But yeah, of course, it's Christmas or Christmas Eve. I had to do that when I lived in Tucson. So to get back off track.
Yeah. I feel like I've worked a bunch of holidays and not a whole lot of Christmases though. Maybe one.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the industry is you have to typically work when other people aren't because that's when they want to go out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. Thank you.